Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sports with Sajaji and Friends F1 podcast. We're coming to you live as FP2 in Silverstone kicks off. And wow, what a week it has been. The F1 season has come alive. Come alive, ladies and gentlemen, at Austria. We had a banger of a race at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. And guess what? We saw yet another winner this year in George Russell. So, to quickly recap, all of us thought at the beginning of the year, when Max Verstappen was just romping home, except the double DNF in Australia, that, yeah, another season where, Max Verstappen wins 22, 23, races, right? But wow, the last few weeks has been exhilarating. So this race, now, if you look at if you look at the race classification, huh, right? You didn't expect that, did you? You didn't expect that, did you? Right? George Russell, first. Oscar Piastri, second. Carlos Sainz. That Ferrari was talk shit all weekend, right? They were easily the third or fourth best car in the grid. And where are they? Where are they? They're on the podium. Let's go, Ferrari. But, and then you see a wild Max Verstappen in fifth. So, it all started at the third round of pit stops. Yes, you heard me right. Third round. So, to recap, the hard tires were dog shit, right? So teams prefer to do a third round of pit stop because the tire was not good at all. Anyway, so third round of pit stops, right? So Landon Norris pit first, comes out in traffic, and he's behind some back markers or whatever. But before the third round of pit stops, crucially, Max Verstappen had I don't know yeah, around 6.5 seconds lead over Landon Norris. And then Max Verstappen, I think if you go to pit stop summary here, I think he pit like a couple of laps after um, Lando, did he? So, yeah, Lando pit on lap 51, and oh, sorry, they pit on the same lap, my bad. Okay, so they did pit on the same lap, but, because Max Verstappen is 6.5 second lead, however, however, what happened was that Max did not have a good stop. He did not have a good stop. His pit stop, Lando, I think, I don't know if pit stop summary shows the pit stops, but Lando, had quite a standard pit stop, right? You see, 20.4 seconds of pit lane, yeah, with 2, 3 seconds, whatever. But Max Verstappen, you see this, right? This should tell you everything, right? Max Verstappen had a 6.5 second pit stop, right? And basically, what happened is when they came out, right, was Stefan Norris out of the pit lane. Norris was at second and a half behind Max, right? And crucially, there was traffic ahead, right? There were back markers which these two guys were lapping, and they were stuck, right? And Lando used the opportunity to get within DRS range. And then what happened is that all hell broke loose. Now, they quickly, got ahead with back markers, and Lando was a second behind. And what it was really interesting, right? We had Lando and Max jostling for those top two positions, right? For first and second. For first, obviously. Nobody's jostling for second when you're the car behind. But so Lando and Max were just jostling, to win the race, obviously, and they were getting spicy, right? We saw um, Lando coming close. He was dive bombing. Max was, getting all busy. Um, to be clear, Max, no. He was getting agitated, but yeah, Max, does the dive all the time, and it's good hard racing. And drama was amazing, right? Um, but the problem is that Lando's exceeding track limits, and kind of. It's racing, right? I'm not really giving either of them anything. But then what happened was that a few laps later, I think I don't know, man, maybe 59, 60, something like that. Um, what happened is that Lando because his dive bombs were not working. Because Max was also weaving. So yeah, the, I know we were saying here, but Lando went around the outside at turn three, right? And if you know the Austrian circuit, right? If I quickly pull up the oh great this yeah let's go here. So if you I want to just want to quickly show you the Austrian circuit, right? Turn three where the accident happened, right? So this turn three, right? It's kind of a hairpin turn, right? So this Austria, right? It's three DRS zones and a bunch of turns, pepper and mill. And this was turn three, and you had so Max Verstappen steaming ahead, right? Lando Norris steaming behind, and Lando goes on the outside of turn three to overtake, right? And then Max, obviously, is trying to defend. He kind of so the thing is, I mean, despite all the media reports that you may have heard, it was a, I mean, like, come on. I mean, I'm not trying to defend Max here, but it was not some egregious. It's not that Max first time like wham and just drives into Lando Norris. He went slightly to the left and he tried to squeeze Lando out, and which it's racing, right? Don't always say let them race. Well, let them race. And Max first time veered a bit to the left. Lando was caught unaware, to be fair, right? And he bumped Lando. They had contact, right? The right rear of Lando and the left rear of Max Verstappen touched, and both had a puncture. Both had a puncture. And both limped back to the pits, right? Max changed his tires, got out, and came out in. Why am I showing practice? There you go. Yeah, so he came out in fifth place. Max Verstappen and Lando. Well, you don't see Lando here, do you? It's because Lando Norris retired on lap 64. So yeah, it was 64 when it this happened. Incident happened. So yeah, Lando Norris retired on lap 64. So you can see now this is 5 second time penalty for multiple track limit violations was happened. Well, it did receive a 10 point for causing collision. But yeah, so basically this is what happened here. And so this kicked off a firestorm in the F1 universe, right? We saw well, I mean, to be fair, Max Verstappen, we all know he does race a little dirty. But I mean, I think in this incident, nobody was, really nobody came off looking any good, to be honest. And yeah, we saw, Andrea Stella going, really, really. Well, Andrea Stella is a good speaker, right? And he really gave it to Max, right? And Christian Horner gave back, Max Verstappen tried trying to defend himself, Lando Norris was all agitated. Of course, Lando crucially walked back his words in Bravo's pre-brief of Silverstone. I'm guessing he wants to go in the Max's private jet. But so yeah, it was a very very hot-tempered race, right? We it is really really lit up the season, for this year, and I hopefully we see a lot more spicy races going forward. Okay, I think basically what we saw is that the McLaren is fast. It's going toe to toe with Red Bull, right? So the Red Bull is no longer just the numero uno car at the front, right? Um, and the big difference is that McLaren has two drivers who are ready to go, give it their best, and challenge Max at the top, right? Red Bull doesn't have that luxury. They renewed Sergio Perez, right, for two more seasons after this, and if you look at where Perez finished in the race, he finished P7, right? P7, and he was P6, but Nico Hulkenberg in the Haas, right? In the Haas, Nico Hulkenberg overtook Perez at the end in I think the second or third last lap, I think it was. But the thing is, Max Verstappen, right? Max Verstappen did four pit stops, right? Because I mean, he pit a fourth time after the accident. He pit four times. He did close to, I mean, not even close to, more than half a lap on a punctured tire. He had a 6.5 second pit stop. And despite all this, he finished 17 seconds ahead of Red Bull, ahead of the other Red Bull in Sergio Perez. And also, Nico finished half second ahead of Sergio Perez. So I think it's going to be very, very telling. Like, we are all this chatter about maybe Red Bull is going to drop Daniel Ricciardo in the summer. There's also chatter about that Daniel Ricciardo talking to the Audi, the Williams, But I will be very, very surprised, right? So if Sergio Perez doesn't pick up his performances over the next few weeks, right? So if you look at a season, we have Silverstone today, and then you have Hungary and Belgium, right? There are three more races before the summer break, right? Now I'll be very, very surprised. I mean, assuming Sergio Perez continues his poor form, when we reconvene after the summer break at Zandvoort, I'll be very, very surprised if Checo keeps his seat. I mean, I know that he's renewed, right? But Red Bull has never been afraid of dropping the drivers like a hot potato when things are not working out, right? Maybe they thought Sergio Perez can come good and help them. Maybe they thought if it's a season like last year, with Max just winning races, well, it doesn't really matter where Sergio Perez is, right? I mean, Max Verstappen won Red Bull the Constructors' Championship last year all by himself, right? But this year, you have other teams catching up. You have McLaren giving hell to Red Bull. Mercedes catching up a lot, right? As we saw Sergio Perez in the race. Silverstone's on the strong track for Mercedes. So it'd be very, very surprising, if Red Bull continues to show patience. I think the only reason they renewed with Sergio Perez was because, well, Sergio did start the season well, right? He was on podiums. He was, right behind Max, P2, P3, or in top five in some places. But yeah, Sergio's dropped off. He struggles to even make Q2. He's fighting back markers. As cars are overtaking him. It's just terrible, right? So I'll be very surprised if Sergio Perez, if he continues to, have performances like Austria and the last few races in Silverstone, Hungaroring, and Spa, right? If he continues to have performance like this, I don't see him coming back after the summer break, right? So anyway, that was a race at Spielberg in the Red Bull Ring. Um, Max Verstappen obviously very disappointed at the result, right? He was comfortably winning, right? He was, like I said, almost 7 seconds ahead before the third round of pit stops. But yeah, I think we need more races like this, more close racing, pit stop mistakes, fast degrading tires. Oh, please give us fast degrading tires, man. Like, come on, we need more races like this. And yeah, I think going down the order, I mean, Ferrari came third. Um, Charles had a terrible race. Yeah, I mean, he did finish 11th, but he had a terrible race. He took an extra pit stop. He had damage at the starting of the race, and yeah, just a terrible race for Charles. But Carlos, of course, got the podium and got those important points for Ferrari. But going on, has had a spectacular race, right? 6 and 8, with Kevin with sorry, not Kevin, with Sergio Perez, the middle of the sandwich in P7. And even Kevin Magnussen was just like not in 6 seconds behind Sergio Perez, which tells you a lot of how bad Perez is in the car. But we saw Daniel Ricciardo in P9, so he'll be hoping against hope that he's kept beyond the summer. Um, you know, Another race where he will finish ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, who was P14. Alpine and another points finish. They got the final points place. Pierre Gasly. Charles did try in the end, I think, to catch up, but he was at least to get P10, but he was just too behind. Um, and yeah, and yet another race where Lance Stroll, Lance Stroll finished ahead of Fernando Alonso. So yeah, that's kind of about the what the race was and the the last weekend's F1 news has all it has all been about um, Max Verstappen and Norris. But if we kind of step aside from there, um, we have seen some. Okay, let me tell you this. This news, which I'm about to share with you, makes no sense at all. But Gazetta dello Sport, which is pretty accurate for Italian, um, and the Ferrari's entire team, so it's pretty accurate. They are reporting the Carlos Sainz set to move to Alpine. A moment of silence for our Spanish driver. So he seems to be sure that Alpine switching to Mercedes. I mean, honestly, I don't think that's going to. I mean, I think it's too early to say. Obviously, there are discussions and negotiations, but it's probably too early to say. But he thinks that the arrival of Flavio Briatore as an executive advisor to Alpine helps his cause. Like, I don't know, Carlos. I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's it's. I mean, I struggle to understand what Carlos is looking for here. He said no to 1+1 deal with Mercedes. He said no to Williams. I mean, I get saying no to Audi, but like, come on, Alpine. I don't know. Maybe he sees Alpine getting P10 and thinks he'll be good in next year. But yeah, Alpine. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, Carlos Sainz to Alpine. I definitely didn't have that on my bingo card for this year. Um, but yeah, so I mean, the issue also is that with Carlos Sainz taking so long to decide, other drivers are getting antsy because clearly half the grid who have open, half the grid has driver spots open, right? And half the grid is waiting for Carlos to make a decision because he is the best driver available now. So everybody else is waiting, oh Carlos, please sign something so that we all the other dominoes can fall in place. I think once Carlos makes a decision, all the other dominoes are going to fall pretty quickly, except that last Mercedes. I think that oh boy, that's going to take a while. But um, and who knows, maybe a second Red Bull seat also. Maybe that's why Carlos is waiting. Maybe he thinks, oh come on, Checo, I know you are not too good, and you will just lose your seat anyway. Um, but I mean, apparently Daniel Ricciardo is top choice. Red Bull, you're not a serious team if you drop Perez for Ricciardo. Come on, you can do better than that. But yeah, I mean, Silverstone, we're looking forward to Silverstone. It's going to be an exciting race, man. It's another very, very fast circuit, right? Silverstone's exciting track. In FP1, we saw Lando finish, top of the standings. But I mean, I don't know how accurate these things are. I mean, free practice is just teams testing. Lance Stroll speed too, so don't pay too much heed to that. But yeah, we also saw Red Bull racing we saw some teams racing junior drivers, right? Red Bull um, had Isaac Hadjar racing for them. Williams had Franco Colapinto, Alpine had Jack Doohan. So and yeah, Haas had Ollie Behrman, who coming to Ollie Behrman has signed a contract with Haas for next year. So that's another exciting news. Ollie Behrman, who raced in his only F1 race and Carlos had an appendicitis surgery, came P7. So yeah, I'm excited to see Ollie Behrman next year. And yeah, it's going to be a very interesting weekend. I don't think there's much other exciting news today. From the I mean, this entire week has just been Lando and Max, Lando and Max, Lando and Max. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, right? Reportedly Max and Lando are still good friends, but yeah, a few more duels on the track, and we'll see how their friendship stands. And with that, I sign off. It's a short stream, solo stream, because Aniket is unfortunately not available. But yeah, we'll both of us will be back next week to see you, and hopefully you can catch us then again for the Silverstone review. And this is the final. To remind you once again, this is the final of the triple header. After this, the F1 season off for 2 weeks while they go to Hungary, to the Hungaroring. So yeah, we'll be back next week for a Silverstone review. And until then, stay safe, wear your seatbelts, like the channel, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and we will see you next week. Adios, folks.